starting off with Soso, and this is Sonny and James Maddison arm in arm walking. I don't know where they're walking to, but nice to see.
Yes, I think it's a nice shot. Obviously, they've gotten so well this season. I think, obviously, it's hard to forget as well. I know everyone's so wanting Maddison to do well this season, and maybe the second half has been a bit frustrating. But you've got to remember, it's also his first season at the club, and he's also got to develop those relationships as well. Obviously, he started so well. Everyone thought it would carry on like that. Being a bit disappointed in the second half, but I reckon, a season under his belt, I reckon his relationship with Son's going to go from strength to strength next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Blue Deer says, Sonny pats Brennan head. Brennan pats Sonny's butt.
There we go. give it and take it. Love it.
From this to this is Mikey Moore doing Sonny's celebration for the under-18s. A few months later, he's playing with Sonny on the pitch in the Premier League.
Yeah, who would have thought? What a moment for him. Special moment. 2 appearances now for the 16-year-old. So
it's unbelievable. And when you think about Mikey Moore, do you think that he's going to be given a lot of opportunities next season, or do you think that end of the season, a lot of injuries, he's just had to come in and fill in the numbers?
He probably has, but it depends how we see him. Do we really think we might have like another Wayne Rooney on our hands? Who started at 16 and broke into that Everton team, or do we think he might need some loan deals? But look, if we think he's good, if he's that good that he can play in the first team, I would be tempted to keep him around, play him in some Europa League games, and try and get him integrated as quickly as possible. Because if you believe he's that special, then why not try and get him involved as soon as possible?
What I would say about Mikey Moore is I was talking about him after the Man City game, and I was saying that he doesn't look out of place in terms of his physical shape, but after seeing his cameo in the Sheffield United game, he did get brushed off the ball fairly easily. So I'm not sure if he's physically ready, and it's understandable at the age he's at.
Yeah, 16 you shouldn't really be.
But Rooney is what I'm saying.
Yeah, true. But who knows? A summer in the gym, you never know.
Nice one. Sonny says, the captain and manager, no one else I'd rather have lead us into our new era, and I couldn't agree more.
Lovely, yeah, lovely bit of camaraderie there as they go over to the fans. That's a lovely little moment, and hopefully shows that everyone's still together. I think there was, people thinking there may be some fractures after that, the City game and everything. Ange was frustrated, but hopefully, moments like this show that everyone's still together.
Yeah, I hope so. Tom Barkley says, progress in nearly every way for Spurs this season. It may have faded in recent weeks, which is disappointing given Champions League was in their grasp. But the bottom line is Ange Postecoglou has had a good first season, given Harry Kane left a day before the season started. And as you can see in these stats between last season and this season, it's an upgrade in every single one.
Yeah. And that's obviously very positive. Obviously last season was very bad though. Like we ended that season horrifically.
Yeah.
So we had a chance to really do a lot better than we did last season. Unfortunately, due to that late season collapse, only turned out to be only a bit better than last season. But improvement is still improvement. I think the main metrics obviously 6 more points, good. Goals scored, there's only 4 more goals, but you got to remember 4 more goals without Harry Kane. So we actually scored more goals without Kane than we did with Kane, so that's good. Goals conceded, it's only 2 less, and we conceded. You've got to remember that run we had at the end of last season where we 6-1 to Newcastle, 4 against Liverpool, 3 against Brentford. So it's not like we were very good defensively last season, that's for sure. But I guess slight improvement. But look at that, clean sheets. We kept more clean sheets last season than we did this season. Yeah. Maybe mostly down to Conte, I would assume.
Probably,
because we were under Conte. But yeah, obviously a much higher average possession as well. I don't look at that stat thinking, oh my God, we're so much better than last season. But we have improved.
Progression is progression, as they say. But what's really frustrating for me is that we equalled last year's tally against Nottingham Forest in the beginning of April. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you're thinking, oh, we're going to absolutely smash last year's tally. And it was only 6 points more.
Which were Burnley and Sheffield.
Yeah. That was the frustrating thing for me. But anyway, moving on. Spurs in the sun on the last day of the season.
Yeah, you can't beat Spurs in the sun last day. We can rip anyone to shreds.
Except for if it's in St James's Park.
Especially if you're already relegated team. Well, actually, yeah. Actually, forget that. Was it sunny that day?
Yeah, it was. It was very sunny that day.
Oh, dear. This Spain team got battered once or twice.
Zara says Sonny and curveball.
Yeah, you know what? Sonny's been doing that outside the boot pass a lot recently.
Yeah.
It's something he must have worked on because he's really started to pull it off a lot. and it's really coming into the fore at the moment.
Yeah, it really is. Big up to Sonny. Rocco says, I'll always remember that Emerson did this first. Insane influence. Phil Foden taking inspiration from the GOAT,
Exactly.
is he?
You saw Emerson's goal in the opening days. I got to start doing that, Foden. He's like, look at Emerson. Yeah, I can shoot the ball like that. So I think he's definitely taken some lessons from Emerson for sure.
Madders THFC saying, whoever tricked the entire Emirates that West Ham equalised, he's a hero.
Definitely, that's how we got to treat him. What a hero. I do wonder how that happened. Like, who the hell started that?
But do you remember when it happened at Spurs
It did
all those
happen at
years
Spurs,
ago?
yeah,
When were we playing against Newcastle? We were fighting Newcastle for top 4?
Arsenal were playing Newcastle.
Yeah, that was it.
And we were playing Sunderland. And there were rumours that
Newcastle scored
I
against.
remember I was watching it at home and I was like, oh my God. So I flipped over the channel, it was still 1-0. I was like, what? And it went back, it's like, yeah, it's not.
I remember being at that game.
So annoying.
I was at that game and I was one of the ones celebrating as well. Right. And then, because it was, smartphones were still there, but it wasn't smartphones as you have them now.
Yeah.
And obviously the reception there was terrible too. So, yeah. But anyway, this one was a lot more funny.
Definitely.
Ayudi says, shut up, blah, 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 blah. Mickey van der Ven says, closing out with 3 points and a clean sheet, would like to thank you all for the incredible support this season. And Cuti Romero says, top, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, absolutely love their relationship. Absolutely brilliant. And hopefully they're going to be our centre-backs for many, many years to come because, look, I think that both of them are absolute class and I can't wait till, like, our way of playing doesn't completely expose them sometimes.
For you, who's had a better season, Van der Ven or Cuti?
I think when Cuti's been at his best, he's probably been better than Van der Ven. But I think Van der Ven's had a more consistent kind of high level, more. Well, and again, Romero's had very few bad games, but then I think Van der Ven's maybe had one bad game.
Yeah,
and Romero's maybe had a handful, I would say.
And the one bad game from Cuti was very detrimental to our season.
Yeah, it was. And obviously, at the Emirates as well, we didn't, he conceded that own goal, gave away a penalty. So I think Van der Ven probably was. I'll probably just about give it to Van der Ven, but I think Romero had a really good season as well.
BLTHFC says Kulusevski on the final day away at relegated teams.
Yeah,
he can't beat him.
We need to play a whole season against relegated teams, and Decky will get the Ballon d'Or.
That means going down to the Championship.
Get Decky a Ballon d'Or.
My dad always said the best season he's had following Spurs is that one season we're in the division below because we just smashed everyone off the park.
Exactly. So that's what we've got to do.
Brennan Johnson got more Premier League assists than Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Bruno Fernandes, Pedro Neto, Jeremy Doku, Phil Foden, Kai Havertz, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Bernardo Silva.
Not to be sniffed at.
And people are still shitting on him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not sitting here saying when I watch him, I think he's the best winger in the world. I don't, but he's definitely a functional winger, and he's definitely a winger who clearly, when he gets in the right position, can put the ball on the plate for a striker. And I think he's done all right this season.
Next one, this is brilliant actually. Harry Kane refuses to sign an Arsenal shirt. So he's signing all these Spurs shirts, then the Arsenal shirt comes.
Come on, Harry.
And he's like, nah, I ain't signing that. Get that away from me.
I love it. Chuck it in the bin.
That's exactly what he does.
He should just wiped his mouth with it.
He doesn't want to put that next to his mouth. Are you serious?
Should just spat on it then.
Hotspur Related says Ange Postecoglou recorded 20 league wins in his first season at Tottenham head coach. Villas Boas is the only manager to record more victories in his first season at the club.
And it didn't exactly end well. He was gone by the next December.
Yeah, but all those wins were down to Gareth Bale, literally.
Yeah, true. He had Bale, but Ange lost Kane, so there's a difference.
Joel Kim saying Sonny catching them bodies, love to see it. Brilliant performance from him.
Yeah, giving them the runaround, wasn't he? And Maddison should definitely have scored that. Absolutely. But I love it. He just can't handle Sonny.
Simon Yamani says Son put up one of his best numbers ever in a Spurs shirt this season. 17 goals, 10 assists. Should tell you how odd the discourse around him has been at times this season. Now imagine how much better it could get as the team improves. World-class player and leader. And this is exactly what I was saying before. Exactly what I was saying. The disrespect on Son's name is just absolutely mad at times.
Yeah, I don't get it. It was almost as if when he has a bad game, it's like, oh, he's aging, blah, blah, blah. But when anyone else has a bad game, it's like, oh, they're not good enough or whatever it is. But you got to realise that everyone has bad games, not Son as well, but when you're putting in those kind of numbers, you'd be stupid to let that go out of your team. And Son has been so effective this season, and I think he's been a great captain as well. First season as captain, and as Simon says, I think as the team becomes more functional, I think he's going to be central to that.
Yeah. This next one's from Ayudi saying, how do you go and check the monitor and take back the red card? He literally punched Son in the stomach for no reason. And I still stand by it. We were going mad on the watch-along seeing how this was overturned.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is maybe it looks like a punch, but maybe he's just pushing him. I don't quite... And I think apparently the referee thought he stamped on him, but he didn't stamp on him or something like that. So maybe that's why it got overturned. But
no, but come on, we saw it so clearly when the ref went to look at the monitor. He looked at it from the complete wrong angle. Then if he shows it from that angle, the red card stands.
That looks like a punch to me from that view.
It was ridiculous. How can you punch someone like that?
But he's not holding his stomach, so that tells me maybe that's not what happened.
But you can clearly see a punch there, though.
But that's not what's. But maybe it wasn't because he's not holding his stomach. He looked like he got stamped on. That's why he's holding his leg.
I thought it was both.
I don't know. Maybe that angle isn't the best angle to judge it from. But from that angle, it looks like he goes for it, goes to hit him in the stomach there.
Yeah.
But maybe it looks worse because maybe he's like trying to get ahead of him and he just puts his arm there. I don't know. They did end up overturning it. It looked very odd to me, but Son didn't seem to complain too much about it.
True. Mackie says, Spurs fans singing the Sonny chant, Sheffield boys trying to imitate his signature celebration. Who doesn't love Sonny, seriously? Even the opposition, after Sonny gives you a battering, are trying to imitate him.
Yeah, of course. Everyone loves Sonny. You can't not love him.
Anfield Edition tweeted this out saying, Richarlison on Instagram yesterday, and he says, despite the rivalry that was only on the pitch, you are one of the best managers I have ever seen. May God bless your journey. And what a nice touch from Richarlison, sending to Jurgen Klopp.
After all, the whole Anfield booed him the other week before he came on and scored, but yeah, nice touch from him.
And apparently a lot of Liverpool fans were showing love to Richarlison after that message yesterday.
Oh, good. Nice.
Ayudi again says, Porro is so fully coys. I think he's always pointed at the badge at every single time he scored this season. He really is, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he absolutely loves it at the moment. And I think we're all loving Porro because I think it also goes to show Porro, he was an example of our number one choice, wasn't he? 40 million last January. We nearly balked at it because we were toing and throwing about it. And we ended up paying the money they wanted. And look what player we have. And sometimes it pays to get your number one choice.
Absolutely. Take note, Levy. And Coutinho Romero put this message out on X yesterday, and he says, one of the best seasons, but I cannot be 100% happy. This team deserved more. This club and its fans deserve to win. I, along with my teammates, have given everything to try, and in my life, I will never stop fighting to get higher, to get better every day. Thanks to our fans for always being there, for better or for worse. London is white. Come on, you Spurs.
Nice message. I mean, I wouldn't say one of the best seasons. I mean, that's a bit much, but maybe he just...
For him.
Maybe just, yeah, for him, to be fair, it has been. And maybe he feels like something's really happening here. So maybe that's the feeling around Tottenham.
Well, you wouldn't say, is this his best season in a Spurs shirt? I mean, in terms of how we've looked on the pitch, because it's more in line with the way he wants to play football, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, when we got top four under Conte, I think we were consistently better that season, personally. But I think for him, personally...
No, probably. But even that season under Conte, we were shocking first half of the season, weren't we?
We were shocking for the first 10 games under Nuno. And then we started playing quite well. And we were actually, by the end of it, battering teams left, right and centre.
Yeah, last 3 months of that season, we were brilliant. This is another one from Mal Duck, and in Korean it says, Heung-min Son has a big brother.
Has a big brother? I think it's Johnson has a big brother, surely.
Well, it says Heung-min Son has a big brother.
I don't understand that.
Next one is Vicario's message after the game. He says, good to close the season with a win and a clean sheet. Looking forward to fighting together in Europe next season. Thank you for a special first year together.
And it might be the first time, it must be the first time he's going to play in Europe, right? I don't think he's played European football.
Well, he came from where? Empoli?
Yeah, Empoli.
No, they never played in Europe.
It was nowhere, so yeah, I'm sure he's excited with the journey.
Who Scored says, Players to reach double figures for both goals and assists in the Premier League this season: Watkins, Salah, Gordon, Palmer and Heung-min Son. And
it's weird, isn't it? When you look at that list, everyone, when people talk about who's had an amazing season, all those names come up, but Son's name that never comes up, does it?
Exactly.
Yeah, he deserves that. He
Exactly.
deserves his respect.
Exactly, and nobody put him in the conversation for Spurs Player of the Year, which, like, before it was given to Van de Ven, I gave it to Heung-min Son. I thought Sonny was our Player of the Year this season.
Yeah, I think he deserves a lot more respect for his season.
Blue Deer says the little boy keeps staring at Sonny. Look how in awe the Sheffield United mascot is of Heung-min Son.
We're all that little boy.
Yeah. Statman Dave says Heung-min Son has scored 70 goals or registered 10 assists in the Premier League this season, the third time in his career that he has managed 10 plus goals and 10 plus assists. 1920 he got 11 and 10, 2021 he got 17 and 10, and this year he got 17 and 10 as well.
And you remember that season, so he got 17 and 10. That was that season under Mourinho. And everyone was going crazy about how good he was. He got 4 goals at Southampton. He got a brace at Old Trafford. And everyone, under Mourinho, everyone was saying, "Oh my god," because that was the season he had mad link up with Kane.
Yeah,
he gets the same numbers this season, and everyone's disrespecting him
because he hasn't scored any bangers. That's why
he hasn't scored. That's true. He needs at least a couple of bangers just to make sure he keeps in everyone's mind.
Squawker says only 6 players have scored 10 plus goals and provided 10 plus assists in 3 plus Premier League seasons, and that is Cantona, Rooney, Lampard, Drogba, Salah, and now Heung-min Son.
Son's the only one there without a trophy. I think he needs to fix that. He needs to fix that. Come on, Sonny. Because look, they're all legends. I mean, Son's a legend as well for us, but is he a Premier League legend? I'd like to think so, but if you're not a Tottenham fan, do you think so? Can you be a Premier League legend without a trophy?
Big question. Can you be a Premier League legend without a trophy? So you're saying Kane's not a Premier League legend?
He should be. For me, he is. But
Yeah.
if you're not a Tottenham fan, I guess you can be. Why not? But I guess we only use that for Tottenham. Is there any? Can you think of a non-Tottenham player
No.
who's a legend without a trophy?
No.
Letizia, maybe that's the only.
It's only Tottenham.
It's only Tottenham.
It's only Tottenham.
Only counts for Tottenham, exactly.
Um,
Let me know in the chat. Let me know anyone who's a legend without a trophy is not a Tottenham player.
Cho says another season completed in Lily White, and this is Dane Scarlett and Mikey Moore coming on for Heung-min Son.
Yeah, lovely moment that was for those boys, and hopefully it won't be the last time we see them in a Spurs shirt.
Yeah, Football Tweet says Arsenal fans mistakenly thought West Ham scored and equalised against Manchester City, and just look at, just inject that into my veins. These pictures, inject them.
Look at the happiness for believing something that just completely didn't happen. Absolutely love it.
The next tweet as well gives you more pictures of it.
Got someone crying. They're crying of happiness.
And look at that guy on the left, he's doing the irons thing.
Oh my god, how embarrassing. You actually do the irons thing when they haven't scored. In fact, they're letting you down hard.
And the funny thing about it is that Arsenal fan is doing the irons, and then at the end of the game, the West Ham fans, what they were singing, we're all having a party when Arsenal fucked it up, and they were singing Are you watching Declan Rice?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
But no one says anything about the West Ham fans, though, and how embarrassing they are. It's just Spurs fans that they want to pick at. Mm-hmm. Fever says Sonny's pass is amazing.
Yeah,
we've looked at that already, but it was an amazing pass. We'll go down to Jesse Payneman says Kulusevski whenever he plays against Sheffield United. Yeah, that's 3 goals against Sheffield United this season.
Great last-minute winner in the earlier game as well. And obviously
2 with his right as well.
Yeah, true. 2 with his right, man. Maybe he becomes right-footed against Sheffield United. Not bad.
Tottenham Hotspur tweeted out just with a shooting star emoji with Dane Scarlett and Mikey Moore.
Lovely.
Kieran tweets out Porro's celebration saying just inject that. Every time Porro scores, it just brings a smile to my face, not just because of the goal, just because of how happy and how fully coised he actually is. Again, what a beautiful pass by Sonny. This next one is, Sonny, I haven't hugged Sonny yet. Kuti suddenly turned around to find Sonny.
He can't not have his Sonny hug. He's like, about to walk, he was like, oh shit, well, I need to hug Sonny. I think that's what we all think.
Apollo says there will never be no one like him. # number 12. And this is Emerson with his stepovers yesterday.
Classic. He had to end it with a bit of a step over.
Yeah, probably the last time you're going to see an Emerson step over.
Not a good challenge, is that? Oh, quite high.
Yeah.
You know what? Emerson got sent off for a very similar challenge against Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah, it's true. Folan says Richarlison on Instagram. I'm not sure what this was.
He's laughing, yeah, 'cause he's pretending to cry and then he starts laughing. Rishi with the shithouse posting as always. Come on, Rishi.
Spurs web, Pedro Porro celebration with Pape Matar Sarr. You love to see it. StatMuse says defenders with 10 plus goals and assists in the Premier League this season, Kieran Trippier and Pedro Porro, and that is the list.
Yeah, and that's what a solid season Pedro Porro has had, and I think he's going to get even more next season.
Is that a handing over of the changing of the guards for the best fullback in the Premier League?
Exactly, Trippier handing over to Porro.
Spurs web saying, "Are you all right, Declan Rice?"
Yeah, he doesn't look too happy, does he? Do you think he's thinking maybe I should have chosen City?
Here's what you could have had.
Yeah, Jesus. Imagine Rodri and Rice in the same team, bloody hell. I'll be cheating.
Fighting Cock tweeting out, crying Gooners. You love to see it. Bukayo Saka crying after the game.
Absolutely.
And Kai Havertz sighing after the game. I mean, I don't understand. What did they think? Did they think like Man City were going to drop points at home to West Ham?
Yeah, I think it's mad that they're crying like that. Maybe they really thought that last minute winner for them was going to mean. But to be fair, they didn't celebrate it like it meant anything that last minute. I think
they knew. They must.
Yeah,
have
they
known.
must have known. So I don't know why he's crying.
The thing is, right, Paul Merson was talking after the game, and it's not a lot I agree with him with, but I think there might be something in what he's saying. He was saying, like, I don't know if you heard what he was saying about the game, but he said this year would have hurt them a lot more than last year would have hurt them, where last year they just completely bottled it, and fair enough, Man City were a much better team. But to do what Arsenal did in the second half of the season and still not win the league, that is going to deject them massively, and it might be hard to pick themselves up from that.
I hope so.
I hope so too. But you not think there's something in that?
Maybe. I mean, I think maybe the fact that they bottled it kind of gives them a pathway of where they could improve. Whereas this season, it's
they can't do much more than what they did
Yeah.
this season.
So they can either replicate this season, or it's like pretty much only going to get worse from here for them. You'd think, but maybe I don't know.
They are very young.
That's the thing; they are very young. But then we were very young, and then it kind of
But it's completely different. It's completely different. We got that good and made no signings after that. They got good, bottled it, bought 100 million Declan Rice. Like, the ownership of Arsenal are basically learning from our mistakes and how to do it real.
That's a good point.
James Madison says it was important to finish the season strong. Assist, clean sheet, and 3 points away from home in front of our unbelievable away support. We'll be back better next year. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, big up to Matters. I think that's...
And is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it. So that is the way the internet did react to the end of the season. Give me those Arsenal tears every day of the week. Put such a smile to my face.